Is that a crab? Hey,
Howdy.
I am Betty.
And I'm Zach. And
we have a very special guest in house. I know y'all didn't want to hear me rambling again this week, so we got somebody to come in. And we have Astria. So you guys can ask me today because we're talking about fitness. So we want to keep that theme going, but we are going to talk about how fitness and cigars have a connection. So we'll do a quick little icebreaker.
but when she leaves, I'll be back smoking again.
Yeah, well,
as they all do.
Yeah,
as they all do.
So again, we won't smoke tonight, but we are having a nice little spritzer. And Zach, what are you gonna?
I'm actually drinking Wild Turkey Long Branch tonight.
Wild Turkey Long Branch.
Long Branch.
Is that a whiskey?
It is a bourbon.
It's a bourbon.
She's not a well, you know, well, you are a guest, but she's not new to being here. But you know, we thank you again for coming to see us this afternoon. We're gonna do a quick little icebreaker. Okay. If I can find my question.
I see you, Fred, while she's getting herself together.
Yeah, let me get my life together.
Do you need your glasses on?
Nope. Got them right here.
All right.
All right.
Let's do it.
We're gonna see how we can connect cigars and fitness. I know it's kind of like on two opposite ends of the spectrum, but we're gonna do a quick little icebreaker and
maybe it's just StreamYard itself. So just bear with us. We're gonna make it through.
Okay. Question number one.
Okay.
Boom, boom, boom. If you could create a cigar themed workout move, what would it be called?
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. Think about all the words I know with cigars. I'm not gonna say so much of a move, but a technique. Can I say a technique?
Yes.
I'm gonna say the puffer.
The puffer.
The puffer. So the puffer would be a breathing technique.
Okay.
Breathing in your nose and out your mouth.
Okay, yeah, that's a good stress reliever.
That is a good stress reliever. But people don't understand how important it is to breathe properly when you're trying to gain size and strength, because you're going to do one of three things when you're working out, no matter what your goals are. It's going to be you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to maintain general fitness, lose weight. You need to do the puffer. And so, or you're trying to gain size and strength, and breathing techniques are most important for gaining size and strength because of how much weight you have to lift. But you need to breathe in your nose and out your mouth. Okay. And that's very important. And you need to exhale on the exertion. Okay. So that way you don't perform something called the Valsalva maneuver, which is where you bust a blood vessel in your neck.
Trying to hold it in.
Trying to hold it in and press all that weight. Yes. And that happens. It happens quite often. So I would say the puffer.
The puffer.
The puffer.
And just like velvet puff. Yeah.
Just like velvet puff. You need to do the puffer.
Okay.
If you're a smoker, do the puffer.
Okay. All right. Question number 2. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh. Help us, Lord.
What's one tip for staying fit without giving up a good cigar or whiskey?
Without
Oh,
giving up a good
that's a good
cigar
one,
or
man.
whiskey. Without both of them, keeping both of them.
Well, it says cigar or whiskey. So you
One tip.
One of the
tip.
One tip. I'm gonna say moderation. Do something every now and then. So if you're gonna smoke cigars and drink, then you probably need to not do honey buns, Coca-Colas,
Okay.
and not be physically active. But the one thing that you do in moderation is going to be to drink and smoke. And I would say pick one day a week, maybe 2 days a week, where you are enjoying a good cigar and a good drink and good conversation. But taking it out completely is not where the problem is.
Maybe twice a week. I think I'm just big boned.
Do you think you're big boned? So your bones are big?
My bones are big.
Your bones are big.
And then we say we just big boned.
It's so funny. People say big bone, but is big bone?
Your bones are the same.
Your bones are the same. If you pull all your meat off and there's a skeleton, your bones, are they really big? No, they're not. So yeah.
But yeah,
you're not big bone. You're just
excessive
big.
for me may be 3 times a week.
To drink and smoke?
To do both together. And I don't have to have either or. It just depends on how I feel that day. So some days I cannot have it.
A lot of people do like a good drink with their cigar.
Yeah. So that's why I said, the one tip for, for that.
And most people, when they smoke cigars, they don't drink excessively.
Right. It's just during that smoke and then
relax.
So just enjoy it and sit back.
Okay. Our last one. We won't stay on this long because I forgot to do your introduction. So we're gonna circle back on that. But this is the icebreaker, which you really didn't need one. But okay, we're just gonna try to tie in cigar.
What's up, Sherman?
The last question. What's your opinion on fitness and balance? And can cigars fit into a...
I'm glad you asked that question because I attended a webinar with ACSM, that's American College of Sports Medicine. And in this webinar, they talked about a study that was done. And in this study, they looked at people who smoke and perform cardiovascular exercises, which is cardio, running, jogging, jumping jacks. And so they looked at their chances of developing heart disease versus those who don't smoke and don't do cardiovascular exercises. And they found that those who don't smoke and don't do cardiovascular exercise developing heart disease.
So you're not doing nothing at all.
Well, cardio, it wasn't nothing at all. It was specifically cardio. So if
room for it,
make room for cardio. You need to do lose 15 pounds so you can smoke and do cardio. We're not saying that. We're just talking about balance and health.
Okay.
So I felt like I did something at the time.
Okay. You did quite well.
Definitely learned something for myself. So.
I know you guys will talk about that later.
Well, thank you. So that was our icebreaker moment. Thank you for those for answering those questions, Astria. And just for those that are just tuning in, we do have Astria Goolsby here. She has her platform Ask Astria, and so that kind of leads us into those questions we asked you about. But I'm just going to give you guys a little brief introduction of Astria because I'm circling back. I forgot to do that in the beginning. Astria is a purpose-driven fitness leader, educator, and industry consultant with a degree in exercise science from the University of
Wow.
Ole Miss. For Ole Miss Recreational Center, and has since spawned into roles of school district, wellness in colleges, curriculum designs, and private training for high impact clients. So that's how she's so knowledgeable about the balance with fitness and, cigars. So that's how we're trying to tie it into. Okay.
Which is a good thing. And I'm glad you guys are doing this because honestly, people who smoke really do need to know how to stay healthy while they smoke.
Right. Because
it's a thing. There is a balance. There's a balance for everything.
Because I know people probably like, now what is she going to be talking about with fitness and cigars? And so that's kind of why I wanted to make that connection, because there is a balance. There can be a balance.
Yes.
But like you said, it has to be in moderation. Icebreaker moment.
No problem.
We will get into some of the things that you are currently doing now. So I'm proud to say that Astria has launched her very own virtual fitness app.
Yes.
Okay.
So I did.
Tell us about this app, Astria.
So I had to close down my 5 years. It's like, so what am I going to do for the people, that I train, the people who are asking me questions? And so I said, you know what, let's just go ahead and dive into creating an app. So I have a virtual gym. And so your virtual gym, we have exercise programs on there. We have, you can log your food, your nutrition goals. It'll tell you how many calories, proteins, that you need. You have a subscription, so it's all right. Okay. You can be there as long as you need. We're there. Like any other gym, you have membership.
Your money is there whether you show up or not.
It's a virtual gym. So so you can log, you have consultations that come with it. We have meal plans with Food Swap. You can purchase a customized meal plan. You can purchase a customized workout. You can build your own workout. It has videos and demonstrations. So when we have group classes, it's going to be maybe a doctor, a nutritionist, somebody to come on and just talk about the things that we see, the people, the community that's on it, what they need. So, and it's all in your pocket. So it doesn't matter if you're at home, on the go, at the gym, you can always pull out your virtual gym.
Okay. Now where can they find it? Where can they download this app?
You can download the app on my website. It's vervehealthstation.com.
Okay, let's put that in the chat.
Yeah, vervehealthstation.com, www.vervehealthstation.com. Sign up right now, $9.99 for the first month. It's $19.99 for monthly after that. It is a subscription, a monthly subscription. But I'm going to say this though, that's very inexpensive compared to you can have someone to actually talk to you.
Right.
Every 2 weeks, actually before I got here, I had a consultation with someone in Soso, Mississippi.
Okay.
I just added 2 more people we are building a nice community on there. So I'm very excited about it, about being able to help people without having to meet you every week. That's something I don't seem to be very good at.
So
I don't seem to be very good at meeting people every week for 2 years straight.
So when they go into the app and they need a consultation, they just book that consultation with you, and the everything is pretty cut and dry, easy questions. They have chat box available.
We have messaging. You can always message me. I do ask for 24 hours to be able to respond.
Okay.
But usually I respond pretty quickly. I have other trainers are on there where we're getting them signed up to be on and letting them learn the app. This is all very, very new for me. So, but yes, you can message your trainer for the first 3 months. I know for my platform, the other trainer is going to conduct theirs how they want to, but for Astria, I know. Oh yeah. It tells me that you haven't been on the app. It tells me that you have not completed a workout. You have not hit your calorie goals. It sends me an alert, and I'm like, so what's going on with you? Do we need to meet and talk about it?
Do you have to insert those yourself, like report it?
No, actually, it does it for you.
Okay.
So there is a formula to tell you how many calories you need specifically exact for your body type, how many calories you need to take in, and that number changes. You know, people get meal plans, and it's so funny. They get meal plans, and they keep that meal plan for years. And I'm like, so if you lost some weight, you need a different. You can't be on the same plan. So I'm gonna say about 6 weeks, I change up your meal plan because it's gonna change to what you need, what your body needs at that moment to do whatever your goals.
If you losing weight,
It goes with working out as well. If you keep doing the same routine,
You
get
plateau.
stagnant.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, very, very, you will.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm able to keep up with my clients. I'm able to bug you, and it's so funny because once you get with me, you stuck with me forever, like glue. And so, and when people see me, it's so funny when they see me. They tell me about all the salads that they ate. They don't even say hello. They're just like, oh.
Well, actually, this. Okay, so when it comes to like meal prep, because I know we do eat, and you stay on my tail about what I eat, and
We just talk about it.
Well, we do, but you get meal prep. Like, what is your take on meal prep? I mean, do you think it actually works, or like that amount of time? What take do you think it's worth it, or is it not worth it, or?
Well, I don't meal prep.
Me either.
I don't meal prep. I don't. You know, I'm a certified diabetes prevention lifestyle coach. I am certified in chronic disease self-management leader. I've transitioned more into teaching people about lifestyle because it's not about the workout. You can Google a workout. We're getting workouts is not hard these days. Everybody has a workout, right? It's about managing your life and changing your life and changing our culture and changing the things that we've grown to adapt to as this is how you eat, right? So I believe in doing the easiest thing. And for me, meal prepping is not easy.
Well, and it's expensive. It can be expensive.
It can be the same thing. Now, I'm just not going to take every Sunday and prep meals, and I don't want to eat food that has been sitting in the refrigerator for 4 days.
Yeah, that too.
And warm that up to eat that 3 days later. So I'm, these things work it. The detox, yeah, it works if you work it. If you do all the things, yes, it does work.
So would it be more beneficial if you're meal prepping to maybe do prep for 3 days, like you said? Most people don't want to eat leftovers. It's 4 days later. So do 3 days, maybe Wednesday, make another set for the rest of the week.
It's all on you. You know, I know people who cut up longer, and so they don't necessarily cook to meal prep their foods. They just have it already ready. They can just pull it out and put it in the air fryer and eat it. And I think that is brilliant. You know, I thought that was very smart to do instead of cooking food and having food that's been. I can't eat chicken.
Yeah, it's already
cooked for 3 days. It's been in the refrigerator. I'm not doing Sunday. I believe in doing kind of what I feel when it comes for as nutrition. Kind of what am I feeling at that time? I don't like to put too much stress on myself or other people, so I don't push meal prepping. But it is an option that if you are that type of person who needs to plan, who needs to do those things.
About diabetes prevention. So I am very proud to say that I was a part of the diabetes prevention program that
you were.
And
I thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about the diabetes prevention program and all the exciting things that happen along that journey.
So diabetes prevention. So I was brought on to create a diabetes prevention program for children, which does not really complete good old, it's grants. You know, you just never know when things are gonna get cut when you have a grant. But the wonderful thing that came out of it, that we were able to train 45 school nurses to be diabetes prevention coaches, so they can use those skills. They already knew what to say to the kids to help them to lead lifestyle changes, whether they were in a program or not. So that, and the nurses really did want it. So that told me, okay, so if we just give them the skills, the first thing, then they're going to use it no matter if the funding does get cut. And it did get cut, and that's okay. But we rolled over to the Mississippi Diabetes Project. And so with that project, we are Look County, Flower County, Lincoln County, and they are leading diabetes prevention classes right now. I also was helping to I was working with MSDH to help them to get more people enrolled in the chronic disease, or I'm sorry, diabetes self-management program. So we do that. So we're just putting up programs, and the complicated part is the health information exchange. So helping to make it to where you guys, your doctors can communicate that. So learned a lot with technology in that. And then we have the Healthy Weight Clinic in Holmes County. So that's an obesity program for kids and families. So parents do attend with the kids. So working on that. So, I mean,
are we really the fattest state in the nation?
Well, so I'm at a conference right now. Actually, this week I'm in a conference.
Want to know?
To 49. We moved from 55 to 49. We are getting there, guys. Policies.
Where the states come from?
I don't know.
I thought it was just 50.
I don't know.
So we were so low, we were below the 50.
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know what to tell you. But and then I'm not gonna say the states, but we've moved from number 55 to 49. Yeah. As far as
Okay. Because
various cities throughout the because I heard you mention 45 school nurses.
Yes.
Now that's across statewide as well.
Oh,
it's not county specific.
No.
Because of course, growing up, I don't recall having a school nurse. You know, so I know that I don't know when that started. But
I'm glad you said that, because some of them weren't school nurses, some of them were school counselors as well.
Right.
So whoever in the school wanted to be that person,
that is true. We didn't have it growing up, but because Cameron is diabetic, and I ain't trying to put his business out there, but when he was on his insulin pump, nobody in the school was trained to help him while he was, going through elementary, middle school. And then at some point, JPS did get a nurse. She wasn't there like every day because the school was so
school.
She went from school to school. But the office staff were willing. The office staff with Cameron when he had an issue. So I really wish they had that program, when he was in elementary school going through. But I'm glad they have it now.
Yes.
Even with the school nurses for telehealth. I think that looks an awesome idea for them to have. But it's good that they are trying to have nurses to help with other chronic diseases and help with the diabetes, because we sure needed it back then.
And nowadays, honestly, a lot of schools have school-based clinics. They have actual clinics that they partner within the community to come in and provide those services, so they don't have to have a school nurse on the actual campus. So we've done a lot of good work in Mississippi. I'm very excited about where we are moving forward, going to this conference, even though the climate is the way it is right now. I mean, it's crazy. We don't know what to see Mississippi coming together with different nationalities, ethnicities, genders. Everybody is coming together to say, hey, it doesn't matter if we do get cut. We're still going to do these programs. We're going to figure it out. And just so you guys know, they are looking for community-based organizations. I am on the back end. I am on the back end. I do my private training. I have the health station. I have the fitness app. but I'm also on the back end of a lot of these policies and when these programs get put together. And that's really a part of my career as well. I've always worked on the back end with wellness programs, and I would go get trainers and say, hey guys, they have a wellness program over here. Are you guys looking for work? Mm-hmm. So community-based organizations, I don't care if you're just marketing health, look at MSDH, look at these different programs. They will pay you to put up signs and to market a Matter of Balance class. Mm-hmm. I was paid to market the Matter of Balance class, chronic disease self-management, diabetes prevention, diabetes self-management classes when I had my health station up in Fondren, along with actually teaching a class at my location. But just to let you guys know, community-based organizations, and that's just if you are an organization, even a business is a community-based organization. So put something up about health in there.
Okay.
You know, you have a bar.
And well, put it up. The thing, we are the 4 C's. We do talk about cigars, cocktails, and community. So again, that could be definitely something that we can.
Yeah, and I guess some people may assume that it's contradictory to say to post health stuff in a but that's probably the best time.
That's it. My thing,
catch them where they are.
You know something, and so when I was working with telehealth and I was working with the kids in the programs where we were talking about marketing and how do we get it out to parents and everything, I was like, put it up in these bars. Put it up in healthier. You could talk about just going to see your doctor, getting wellness checks. If there are health events coming up, health fairs, people can go get their A1C check. Put it up in these bars. Go and talk to the bars. I really wanted to collaborate with a lot of the bars here in Jackson, but the funding did get cut. But I wanted to collaborate with them to talk about, hey, how can we, utilize you all's space to talk to these people, because that's who the people need it.
Well, and especially for the menu. When we talk about having a vegan, because there's not really an option when you go out to eat, for vegetarians or.
Well, there's options. It's called order all vegetables. There's ways to make it work.
There's not a vegan pork chop on the menu.
There's not a vegan pork chop on the menu.
So, but okay, so and that could be something, because like you said, people probably like that lady. I'm not gonna call her name. When we was in Fondren, and she said, "Oh, fitness and you do cigars? That's a weird combination."
It's weird or not, you heard it, and
I mean, but
it makes you think.
It's the reality, because people are gonna do what they want to do,
right?
So whether it's eat bad, have bad habits, smoking a lot, drinking a lot, is like you're saying in the beginning. It's about trying to get the balance.
You know something? To me, a bad habit when it comes to health and fitness, from my, and I've been doing this for over 20 years now, just so you know.
Oh, so how?
Really?
I mean,
you old enough to be working 20
I
years?
am old enough to be a vet in this thing. So that bad habits is not just smoking and drinking. Bad habits, the worst habit you can have is to not be physically active.
Right.
The worst a bad habit is that I don't drink water. Those are bad habits. But if you are exercising and you are drinking your water, you are doing the things, and you decide to have a cigar and a cocktail, I have nothing to say.
I used to be super active, athletic, softball, basketball, whatever. Then once I had my surgery, I just kind of fell back. Mentally, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be right when I go back out here. And I just never stepped back out there. But as soon as I get back out there, I feel like it'll just be.
It's not.
Because you're not that where age. I was.
Look, it's not. That's the first thing we do. And when I talk to them, and they tell me, so when I was 20, I was a size 10. And when I used to walk and run. I actually led an aerobics class. I was a person, and I listened to them, and they're like, and they, in their mind, they're thinking, all I
All
have
I
to
got
do
is
is
get back
do this,
into
roll
it.
it back, and it's gonna come. And it never does. And I just say, okay, well, let's see how that works out for you. And after a while, they're like, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. And I say, okay. So now that you have it out your mind, you're not gonna look like you did when you were 20. You can't do what you did when you were 20. And it's not that you physically cannot, because you can always work your way up to anything at whatever age you are, depending on your physical limitations. But it is that you don't feel like it anymore.
Right. Yeah.
You ain't trying to do all that.
And life be life.
Listen, and people get to a certain age now.
You can love it or like it.
You can love it, like it, or leave it. The 3 L's: love it, like it, or leave it. And do what you got to do. And especially after the age of 40 and up, those my clients that are 40 and up, listen, I got to keep them interested, because after a while they're like, you know what, I don't. My husband ain't complaining, my wife ain't complaining. Who cares? I can go to work. Husband not complaining, wife not complaining. I can go to work and make some money. Then I don't care. Right. So you really have to. I have to keep it close to home, because I'm not gonna yell at you. I don't do the whole
yell at me.
I don't yell at you. I just talk to you how I talk to you, and make you feel bad about yourself.
That's how she talks to me, y'all.
Make you feel bad about it. That's what I do. But yeah, so don't have I would say don't have the expectation that you're gonna just jump back into it and be like you were 20 years
No,
ago.
and reality for me is I just have to get back into the routine of doing it. Of course, I don't think that as soon as I step on the court and run up and down the court 5 times, I'm gonna lose 10 pounds. No,
well, let's not do that.
I'm never that far away from being where I used to be. It's just a matter of getting back out there. Now, I've never been a muscular person or anything, but I was a lot slimmer. So this is probably my biggest size to date.
Me too.
And if I can get down to the maybe 30 pounds from what I am now, will put me back at where I used to be.
But you know something else? People are amazing. I've had clients that came to me that did not exercise at all and be rocked up. I'm talking about
some people
up.
just natural.
I have had you just have to do a few little things, and the weight comes off, it comes back together, and just be consistent. So it's a little magic out there. Some people got magic in their genes.
Well, I need to find.
You got to find out what works for you.
What works for you? Yep, it's what works for you.
Not eating works for me.
No, it does not. It does not work for you, Betty. It's not working for you. It causes internal health problems when you starve your body, because your body's going to eat on itself.
But I'm not hungry though.
But you still have to feed
well,
it.
that's because you didn't feed it, and then it gets to where it's like, okay, so we just gonna hold on to this fat, and if we need to eat on some, we'll nibble on this a little bit, and every time she puts some in her mouth, we just gonna put it in the fat storage so it can be there. So you know, but you know, do as you will. I'm here whenever you're ready.
For $9.99 a month.
19.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me look at the camera. $19.99 can be yours. Only $19.99. That's the commercial. Right. Please allow 4 to 6 weeks for shipping. That's what it used to say on the commercial.
4 to 6. It did say that.
Well, okay. So moving into anything upcoming that you have. I know you had some speaking engagements.
That Footprint Farms, man.
No,
that was
where is that?
Girl, I don't know. You know, I'm not from here. I have no idea where Footprint Farms.
So while they're trying to figure out where Footprint Farms is, and if you all know, please let us know. But again, we're talking with Astria Goolsby. Make sure I say that right.
It is in Jackson.
Ask Astria. So if you have any questions that you need to get on here,
and tell us where Footprint
put them in there. I've heard of it before, but
I think it's I think I went out 80 on 80. I'm not sure. Okay. I'm gonna be on Google it. The address is on there, but I have no idea where I went. I just followed the GPS.
And it took you there.
It took me a back way, and then I got lost and came the other way. I was like, "Oh, is that 80?" I don't know. I've never seen so many trees and had seen all that land in Jackson. So when I pulled up, I was like, "What in the world?" But it was 80? Beautiful.
Highway 80 or
I'm
18?
Not sure. It might have been 18.
That sounds like 18.
I don't know, Zach.
It's not. No, you won't get.
Now I feel like I'm being quoted.
No.
Didn't say
no,
that.
I'm just thinking about Highway 80. You won't get much because Jackson turns into Clinton on Highway 80. So that's probably Highway 18. That's when you're going toward Raymond and Utica.
Well, it's going. I think it's more going towards.
Well, let's ask Google.
Get 49.
Yep.
Okay, so maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
Okay.
You know, I when I came to Jackson, I stay on the highway. I don't venture too far from the highway. You know, I understand that you just don't be all in, folks.
You can't be all over the place.
You can't be all over the place.
Oh, it actually is on South Drive.
Where is that?
That's over by the no, that's over by the softball stadium, by the VA.
Put it in my GPS and started driving.
So that's
South Drive.
Yeah. So when you cross, if you pass the, you know what the VA is, the VA
Woodrow Wilson,
not that VA,
The nursing home.
the nursing home.
I don't know what.
So there's a softball field. You can see it off of.
Okay.
You can see it off 220.
Metro. So it was going down there.
So
it was over there.
South Drive crosses over, what is that, Dixon Road or something, and it goes into like the county of Jackson.
Okay.
So yeah, it's over that way.
So but it was really nice. 150 farmers were there. We talked about, and they thought I was going to talk about, you know, diet and everything. I'm not talking to you about diet. So I really talked about the programs that are available and what they mean. Like diabetes is different than remote patient monitoring program. And what does that mean? And I let them know how important they are in the community. I let them know how, you know, we're looking at them to be able to spread the word about why it's important to eat fresh fruits and vegetables. Can you all teach these people how to cook the foods that you guys are selling to them? We need someone to be leaders out here when it comes to
throughout the state of Mississippi.
Well, they came from the Jackson area, and they also came from Alabama.
Oh,
it was a group of them. There were at least 20 of them were from Alabama.
Is it almost like a farmer's market?
It's a farm.
Okay.
It's a whole farm.
So on this farm,
they came from Alabama. Is it like a food exchange or a food swap or something?
No, the other farmers came from
Alabama
to the event. They came to the event.
Okay.
And the event was sponsored by USDA. Thank you, USDA. I mean, they're still pushing us along. We were in Bessemer, Alabama. We've gone to Dothan, Alabama.
We know all about them little
I've been, I think, Birmingham. Might have been Birmingham. I'm not sure, but I've been to about
Birmingham
4 or 5 different locations in Alabama. Yeah. So people heard about it being in Jackson, and they came to Jackson, which was pretty cool. Yeah.
And there was 20 of them, so that's a nice little amount of people.
It was a bus that came. They brought a bus.
You didn't bring any literature back from that event.
I had paper. It wasn't a dirt. I did get that. So I mean, but they were teaching the farmers about, you know, different tools. There was people there that either had farms or aspirations to have farms. So it was
kind of how to cultivate the land.
Yeah, how to cultivate and what to grow when.
Right.
You know, I did.
Because it is just talking to different co-workers that are in the country or towns.
I did not know that.
Louisville, places like that that still have farms on their property. There is a certain season to grow certain produce.
Yep. And what would happen if you grow certain produce in the wrong time? So, it's very interesting. And again, how to use different tools. We introduced them today. We talked about that. What type of funding is out there? Yeah, I mean, it was really, really good. And then Footprint Farms fed us. Oh,
from the farm.
What did y'all eat?
Sweet potato cornbread. Sweet potato cornbread is what I had that I remember. We had some greens that were divine.
Fresh out the.
Oh my God! Some baked chicken.
Now, did they have animals running around the farm?
I didn't see any animals.
Probably not.
But it was a pretty big farm.
Chicken, I'm sure y'all.
I mean, the chicken tastes
well.
So good.
I guess, and that would probably put the spin on it when they say free range chicken, stuff like that. So of course, typically most people from exactly what they're putting into their animals and their produce versus the mass production when we see the crop duster come through and put the
Artificial.
the pesticides and all that stuff. So for me growing up, I used to think I was allergic to lettuce because every time I ate a salad or try to eat the salad, my throat would itch. But it wasn't the salad.
It was the pesticides.
It was what was on
that. But and it's funny that you said that. I talked a lot about processed foods and the 4 different types of processed foods. People think processed foods is just like McDonald's or it's a Coca-Cola and a bag of chips. But it goes from that to ingredients are processed. And then it talks about minimally processed, meaning that when you go home and you take all the nutrients off the food and
Washing
then cook
it
Why? Well, not so much as washing, like peeling a potato instead of eating the skin. That's processed food, taking away the nutrients, or you're altering the natural state of the food. You need to eat the skin on the potato. That's where all the that's what the real
potatoes with the skin.
Well,
in
yeah,
it.
but
So I'm glad you mentioned processed foods because I've had this discussion before with some vegan friends.
Oh
And
gosh, I don't mess with big vegan folks.
No. It's just a matter of
I'm like, I am not a dietitian.
Speaking on the term of being processed, because the reality is, okay, you go out here and say, okay, I'm gonna pull this grass up
and turn it
to a shrimp to whatever. That's more processed than what the real process is to me.
What I'm going to say is, if it has a nutrition label on it, read the nutrition label. And if it says all zeros, then figure out what the ingredients are. All zeros, I'm like, well, what is it then? Because it's sitting here in front of you with color.
What is it? Cauliflower,
right?
That is a processed food.
Yeah, if you had the process,
that is a processed food.
And they have breading on it.
And if they're selling it on, if it has a long shelf life, then it has something chemical in it that is sustaining the shelf life.
Everything gets stale or old.
It should rot. Your food should rot. Your food should rot.
That point that
their stuff is processed. Yes.
So as natural as you think it may be, really you shouldn't be eating nothing but salads and fruits and vegetables.
And you know
and nothing else. Why do you have the desire to want to taste a hamburger if you're not eating meat?
Well, I mean that's many different reasons why people don't eat meat.
I mean, it's mentally.
Yeah, it mentally. I mean, biblically, it's so many different reasons why, you know, eating meat. Some people choose not to. I get it. But the fact of the process is still look at it. You need to know what's in it, because if they take some grass and make a burger out of it,
something ain't right.
Some is. I need
with the grass-fed cow.
All cows eat grass.
All cows eat grass.
We learned that in music.
Well, you got a good point.
We learned that in music class. All cows eat grass.
Grass-fed cow.
Is it a certain type of grass?
Well, my thought process would be, if they say that, you know, these cows have been grass-fed, well, what are the other cows eating? Not that all cows eat grass, but what are you actually feeding the other cows?
What are you putting on this particular grass?
Right. Yeah.
To make these, to like the Wagyu beef or whatever, the Japanese aged beef. What are you feeding them
a good Wagyu steak,
particularly that makes them better than the average American cow?
Right.
Whatever. You know, what's the process?
What's the process? What's in the ground? It goes so deep. I just tell people, listen, do the best you can.
How do the farmers feel about stuff like that?
They don't like it, but they have to. The hard part is that they have to protect their crops.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have bugs, insects, animals that come and eat up all your food, and then
whatever they lose, they don't make no money.
They don't make no money, and that's a lot of work to put into something and grow something, and then something comes and eat it up or it dies.
Because you basically have a certain time frame to make your yearly salary in a few months.
Yeah.
And we'll just say 6 for the sake of the conversation. If it takes me 6 months to plant, harvest, and sell, then I won't get any more money to another 6 months.
And then half that crop is gone. Right. So that, you know, it's an uphill battle. I mean, we have to look at the soil, we have to look at pollution. It's so many different things. Like, just do the best you can. I tell people all the time, do the best you can. We're gonna go in phases and stages. In the beginning, I don't even know. I don't want to know what you eat. I just want to make sure you're eating. Once you start eating, then we'll start looking at what's on your plate. And then once we know the right stuff on your plate, then we'll start looking at the portion sizes. I mean, take it in steps, man. people out here, they're like, oh, you need to eat 6 ounces of this, and then you got to take this. That is not a sustainable way to make a lifestyle change. So what you want to do is just take it
It's
easy.
extreme lifestyle change for me to go to eating vegetables.
Yeah,
because I haven't eaten vegetables in 41 years.
Don't you tell nobody else that.
I have no
tell
shame.
nobody you ain't eating no vegetables in 40 years.
I have no shame in that.
Okay.
But for those that have and do, they have more health problems than I do.
Well, health problems. It's not just about what you're eating. Again,
right. But I'm just trying to dispel
but
that.
That's also that magic I tell people
myth,
about.
And maybe I'm magical, but
I mean, we all got a little magic inside of us.
But no, knock on this plywood. I don't take any medication.
That's good.
No high blood pressure.
Do you go to the doctor on a regular basis?
No high cholesterol, none of that stuff.
Well, that's great.
Now, had I still been going out and doing my regular exercise, I probably be in better shape than what I am.
You know what the number, I feel from what I've seen over 20 years, the biggest problem, when I say the big, I'm not saying that not exercising and not eating right is not a problem, but the biggest problem has been stress.
Okay.
And stress, stress, not so much as in people getting on your nerves, but just stress as in how you react to things.
Certain stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Stress, even as in people who talk loud, and I have seen them have heart attacks at a very early age and strokes.
Mm-hmm.
Being in the light all the time, I've seen them be stressed a lot, and I've seen, them have health problems. So I think that people who have a naturally calm personality, they seem to be a lot healthier.
And I think,
as far as healthier, and I mean like don't have as many
right. And I think that for
complications.
me, that's probably my main thing. I feel like I'm a very calm person to a degree.
It's only gonna help you for so long, though.
Right. I mean,
I'm not saying go. You gotta go eat some fruits and vegetables.
No. I mean, and I probably won't,
because you won't,
because you can't prove to me that that's gonna make it better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So why change it? So at this point, my body has adjusted to the way that I eat. So if I change it, then it's gonna disrupt what I've been doing this last 40 years. And I get sick and and that rejection, that whole little thing.
And I do believe in the mind. I do believe that we control a lot of things that go on with our bodies and in our life, depending on how we think. And that's just me paying attention to my little 40 years. Did I say that? I did.
She put it out there.
Me paying attention to my little years. I've been on.
So that means he said she been in the business over 20 years. So that means she been working since she was 14.
Since I was 15. We're gonna say.
So she been in the health industry since she was 15 years old.
So, it's been the mind is I've seen, like, when I think a certain way, certain things happen.
That's true.
When I'm thinking or I'm harboring on something that I'm upset about, I don't feel the best. I don't get sick very often, but when I do, I look at, okay, what has changed in my life? And usually something is stressing me, and I catch a cold, or what I'm saying, I end up having I've had sinus issues twice in my life, I think.
In your most vulnerable time.
Your immune system drops when you're stressed. And so if your immune system is dropping, all that means that all the defenses are breaking down. So if you're stressing, then when you do eat something bad, it's a lot easier for the bad things to attack your body. And I'm just putting things in layman terms. I'm not trying to speak scientifically. I'm just trying to help people to understand and process it in a reality kind of way, a lifestyle type of way of how these things actually work. So what you think, being stressed, not pumping your heart, very much, and you're stressed, that's not good.
It's like a build-up.
It's a build-up. Yes, it's a build-up. So and then ultimately something bad happens, and that's just and usually your body give you signs. Your body will give you signs if you listen to it. Whether you listen or not, it's gonna give you.
We be so quick to diagnose stuff. Oh, that's just gas. Drink a ginger ale and lay down. Lay down.
About to have a whole pancreatitis.
And that's actually what happened to me. This been 2 years ago. We went to Nashville for a trip, came back. New Year's Day.
We were
of the world that week.
that weekend. Oh,
So New Year's
I
Day.
can't wait to talk about
It
that
is.
again, huh?
I can remember it like it was yesterday, even though it was only 2 years ago. It was New Year's Day 2023. It was a Sunday. First day of the year on a Sunday. I was getting up, getting ready to go to church, and I just felt bad. Just everything in here just wasn't right. It was all type of pains.
And you know we trying to be nurse.
Right. So I'm thinking, all I just needed, and for the sake of the conversation, just pass some gas or do whatever.
I'm out getting gas. What you need?
And that work. And so I'm in the fetal position, just hurting.
We need to go to the doctor.
So we get to the emergency room, the trust care. So they drew the blood, whatever. I hear that out in the hallway. Oh, ain't nothing we can do for him. We gonna have to send him to the hospital. I'm like, y'all
nothing
talking about,
we can do for
right?
you.
I'm thinking about that.
Hospital, they say nothing I can do. I don't
It's for me.
Lord, I'm
This
sorry.
is not how I wanted to leave here. So they come back in and say, okay, your white blood cell count is off. You have some type of infection.
Okay.
We go to Merit Health and they run the test. Oh, your appendix is about to rupture
right now.
I'm glad you got here when you did, because had you waited 1 more hour, now man, I had laid on this for probably 4 or 5 hours before I decided to just say, no, something ain't right. So they couldn't do surgery that night, but they had to do it emergency that morning. They just sedated me through the night to make sure I was comfortable to get some type of. But that was the worst pain of anything that I've ever experienced in my life, and I've had all type of injuries, but nothing was greater than that pain that I experienced at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, damn, we can't drink no more. What is going on?
And going back to what you said, there were some signs that I didn't pay attention to. So I was using the restroom a lot more than what I normally do. And that should have told me something.
Something's off.
Right.
But then we was drinking a lot too. So everybody was peeing a lot.
Yeah.
Was had.
And a lot of babies were not.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So I did gain weight loss from it. So I was sexy. It's gonna get you clean up.
2 more reps.
Really?
Yeah.
My clothes are falling off.
People think eating right, I'm doing all the things.
We
go so, I go so deep with my type. We even go so far as your blood type. Because once we've checked off the list of all the things, okay, so you're still not losing weight, but you're doing your heart rate's in the right place, you're exercising, you're eating the right foods, you're eating the right calories, you got your protein, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, one day I had to figure something out. So I went and I did some research and I found out that your blood type would tell you some people shouldn't be eating beans, they shouldn't eat bread. I'm talking about natural food.
So where is this?
You find out, depending on what your blood type is, there's a list of foods.
So where is I need to see the list with the blood type.
You can Google it.
I'm O positive.
I just downloaded an app.
Yeah, and I've never heard that before.
Yes. So
even from doctors, they've never said, oh, because your blood type is, this is why you're able to do what you're doing or not do what you're doing.
Well, we're not saying them. Some things.
No. Well,
because doctors don't know.
In regards to what I eat.
They don't know nutrition. That's something else.
All I know is my blood type mixes with any type of blood. So
that's what doctors know. Right. So people put a lot on doctors. I'm like, your doctor is not your fitness trainer. They might have a certification, you gotta be lucky, but they're not fitness trainers. They are not nutritionists. They do not. They're not. They don't know these things.
It's just like any other profession. The stuff changes
and things change.
So if you've been a doctor for 40 years, stuff has evolved. Every few years, it's something new coming out that you have to be a part of or know about. And if it skips past you, you don't know how to diagnose it.
Some doctors just want to stay old school. They want to stay stuck and don't want to change with the time. So they're going to keep telling you what they learned when they got out of medical school in 1975, and here it is 2020.
So since we're talking about doctors, what is your take on holistic?
I love it. I think that should be the first go-to.
Okay.
It's holistic. I had a doctor tell me I had some complications like 6 months after I hit 40. It was crazy. And I was like, oh my God. And so the doctor told me, you know, well, we can give you some medicine and that'll do blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, can I try the natural way first? And I'm like, you know, eat better and go non-GMO. And she was like, right on, yes, you can. And so I'm not sure what that to me, that was interesting that
they didn't offer it to you.
But it was what was interesting was that she jumped on it so fast. So I don't know if they are required to go through services when it comes to offering certain type of things versus on what they actually know or they're certified in, but they have to take a class.
And of course, that's a show for another day. But I do think that they're
depending on certain things
taught to refer this because the reality is, and this being my other, there's no money. So if people are unhealthy, we're making money. But if you're healthy,
well, that's true. But I'm gonna tell you something. They're gonna make some money off of us regardless. Right. If everybody starts to go the holistic route, then these pharmacists, the same companies and the people that own
find a way to get holistic.
Not that they are creating this pill because we just want to hurt somebody. They created something that solved the problem. So if they see that, and people will gravitate towards it. So if they see that people are gonna gravitate towards holistic and that's solving the problem, somebody's gonna try to make some money off of that, which is going to change that because the more you have to produce something, the more watered down it gets.
Right.
So with doctors, I take it easy on doctors. I tell people you need to trust your doctor. Yeah. You know, that's my biggest thing. My clients, I tell them you need to talk to your doctor, but I don't want to go. If you can't go in the doctor's office and tell them, I tell my doctor everything. I sit up on that little thing with that piece of paper and I say, listen, doc, I did this, I did that, I do this. I tried that last weekend. If you see anything wrong, tell me if any of these things have anything to do with that.
Right.
And if you can't do that, then you need to change doctors. Right. If you cannot sit in your doctor's office and tell them everything you do, yes, I smoke, so they can, because if you don't tell them why are you even gonna there,
diagnose you wrong.
Yeah, they can't diagnose you properly. They don't know what to. Well, also people don't understand is when you go to the doctor, they can only check my head hurts, and then you come in and say, well, my toe hurts. Most times the doctor's going to tell you have to make another appointment for that. You're supposed to make another appointment. There's two separate things you came in for. So if you don't tell them what's wrong or tell them what your symptoms or tell them what you've been doing that's bad, quote unquote, then they don't know what to actually look for. They can skip cancer if you're not telling them certain things. You don't tell them that cancer runs in your family. Right. So you need to trust your doctor and ease up on them because they're sick too. Right. I go to doctors. I'm like, you look like you need my service.
Because they have a lot of stress.
No, they do have a lot of stress.
They're dealing with thousands of people year in, year out. Plus trying to balance home life, work-life balance, as they say. And of course, I can imagine the hours that they had to put in and being on call.
And overhead. It's not overhead. Having overhead is stressful. Having to pay people is stressful, and then you have to keep people coming in. You have to keep making. When you have to make a certain amount of money, that can be stressful. That can be very stressful. So they get stressed. They are, they're human just like us. Right. So I try to, I try, but I'm just kind of like, you know what? I need you to lead them because I don't like how you talking to you. So, but that's a show for another day. Yep. I'm not going to bring those people.
So the moral of the story is get you a primary care physician.
Please do.
And trust them.
Get to know them.
And tell them what you're doing.
And she retired. I had her all the way when I was at Mississippi State.
Because I always get that question and all your little admission statements. Do you drink? How often?
They want to know.
And I'd be like,
but I also feel like some of those.
Do you smoke? How often?
Questions are set up questions.
It's insurance stuff.
And they already pre-diagnose you with something before you actually check for it. And they're like, oh, well, you smoke and drink, your chest don't hurt.
Right.
No, I don't need, that's not what's going on.
I'm very cautious about that too.
Yeah.
That's every time you go to the doctor.
They're going to ask those same questions.
You smoke, you drink.
I tell the doctor when I get up in there, I had a time this weekend. I know that.
And
everything all right.
And for those people like myself that may not know all of your family medical history, get the next of kin. If you don't know one of your parents, find a sister, or brother, somebody that can help you in that family, so you can kind of know what stuff you may inherit it, genetically.
So I taught that when I was at Tougaloo College.
Okay.
When I was at Tougaloo, I taught a class, Total Wellness. I developed a curriculum. They asked me, they said, Astria, what do these kids need to know? Because they don't really like aerobics, they don't like weight training. What do they need? I was like, they need to learn how to handle life, like 8 dimensions of wellness. Like we need to teach them that. And so in the physical part of physical wellness, I made them go back, and you need to go back and ask your family about your family health history. And so they would be like, well, I don't talk to my daddy and I don't talk to his side of the family. I said, well, somebody talked to him at some point. Grandma know him. Grandma knows somebody. Somebody knows somebody.
Send
knows
a pigeon.
Send some. You need to figure it. You need to find out. Or this can be a way that you can really start a new relationship with a family member.
Right.
I don't know. But you need to figure it out. And if you don't figure it out, the rule of thumb is assume that you got it.
Right.
If you can't fit, if you don't know if anyone in your family ever had cancer and you can't talk to anyone, assume that they did and operate that way, because what it's going to do, make you eat fresh fruits and vegetables. Really, it's all the same. That's something else too. I'm kind of tired of after 20 years. It's all the same.
Right. Because of course, medically, we always go with, or they always go with the immediate family.
Right.
So
but you still need to go back.
But going past that, does that affect you?
Well,
if I say my granddad and my grandmama had cancer, does that directly affect me?
Well,
because my mama doesn't have it.
Well, one of the reasons why they ask if it's your immediate family, it is about genetics, but it's more about culture. Well, it's more about culture and lifestyle. So if your family had a heart attack, then we really start to talk about what kind of foods did they eat. So was
the
it that
family,
the whole right? So if my mama had a heart attack and my mom had a heart attack, her mama had a heart attack, who taught her how to cook? Right. And what did you guys eat? And so now then that's what we talked about. That's what we broke down when I had the students to go back. So I said, okay, now we got to look at lifestyle. What type of habits did daddy have? What type of, okay. So now we know that he didn't have diabetes because it ran in the family. He had diabetes because
what he was eating.
The 5 generations before him ate nothing but cake in the morning and for lunch and at night.
Fish and spaghetti every Friday.
Fridays once a week. So we're okay with that.
I think that was just a tradition. Every Friday, even my grandmama did fish and spaghetti on Friday.
I did fish and spaghetti. We did fish and spaghetti for no reason.
And she was an Eastern Star, and they would sell fish and spaghetti plates as fundraisers.
Yep.
But she ended up developing bone cancer.
Interesting.
But it wasn't, I don't think it was from the fish and spaghetti. I think it was from Slim Fast. Of course, I was only 10 to 12 years old during this time. But Slim Fast was a big push in the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
And she was drinking Slim Fast a lot.
Interesting. That's something to look into, Zach.
Right.
You might be entitled for a settlement.
Ain't that something?
You might be missing an email.
And I know my mother goes back and watches the podcast. And Mama, I'm just telling you what I think. You may say something different. No. And my cousin's on here now. But no, that's just my take because I was with her every day.
Right. So you saw her drinking Slim Fast.
Right. So I know she drank
Slim Fast. And when things first come out, that's something too. When it first got find that sweet spot. Developed. But when it first comes out, we don't know what, because they could have gotten a lot of reports of people who had bone cancer. I'm gonna leave all that alone because I hate for somebody to say that Astria said that Slim Fast.
Slim Fast doesn't even exist anymore.
That, just be careful.
And of course, her mother, I don't know what she passed of at the time that she died. She was of old age, so it could have been natural causes or whatever. But my grandmother passed at 54 years old.
Really?
That's pretty young.
That is very young.
48. She had breast cancer.
Right. But again, bone cancer. And of course, I have a lot of opinions, and she can tell you that quite often. The reality that I feel that there's only one cancer. We only diagnose it based off where we find it. But most of the time when it comes back
to what cancer actually is,
cancer took over your whole body. So that means it's only one cancer.
So it is cancer is cancer.
Cancer is cancer.
And you might have
We treat it according to where we find
it is, yeah.
or what part of your body can absorb this certain treatment for.
So tell me something. Do you just sitting up at night and you just thinking of this and you like, you know what? I think cancer is cancer. Is that what the cigars do for you?
No. Cigars take me away from all of that.
Oh, okay.
Honestly. But I'm the person that rationalizes anything that you say. So if you tell it to me and I feel like, oh, something ain't right with this, then I'm gonna go research it or whatever the case may be. I'm not gonna always accept whatever you tell me.
Mm-hmm.
I have to find some fact about it before I accept it.
That makes sense.
If you don't make it,
that's smart.
If you don't make it come off to say, oh yeah, she know what she's talking about. So I can sit here and say, oh, this whole little interview, oh, she lying about something. Let me go back and research it. And I'm not gonna blast them out on here, but I'll come back to you and say, well, you know what, when you said such and such and such.
Look what I found. You said
but I've asked you everything that I felt like I needed to ask as we were talking.
Right.
So I have nothing to go back and say, no, she wasn't right about this.
Right.
You know, so I'm that person.
Okay.
That I just like the truth, you know.
All right.
And a lot of people can't handle the truth, and that's another show for another day.
That's most people can't handle
I do speak the truth quite often of what I feel is my truth, and some people like me to dumb myself down to make other people feel non-threatened by how I talk.
They say never do that.
And I try not to.
They say women shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't do that. I don't believe that you should.
Stop me from saying
no.
I want to say.
You know, just like all your accolades and achievements and everything else, why would you dumb all of that down to get a certain position or to do this, that, and the other? If they don't want to give it to you, create it.
Create it. That's what I did. That's how I got into this, actually. Mm-hmm. When I graduated from college.
Trying to sip something that ain't even there.
Oh, that means you had too much.
No. It's good.
So when I first graduated from college, that was when the recession hit. And every job I thought I was going to apply for and do an interview for was like, no, we're not hiring anymore. Because I was going to leave Mississippi and go straight to Dallas. Oh, my God. I had my bags packed. I was like, when I get off this stage, it's going to go straight. I'm getting the airport. I'm gone. I've sent out emails. I had interviews lined up. I was about to go. And then the recession hit and everything started shutting down. And so I was like, man, I got to figure this out because I still have to pay rent.
So you're saying a recession.
And so I went and created.
We already know how old you are. So that's.
Wait a minute now. Hold up.
No. So that's 2008-ish is what you're saying?
It is.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Because when I graduated, it was 2001. So that was anthrax. That was Twin Tower bombing, all this stuff. So it was some jobs that I couldn't get.
Because of
that. And thank my mama for my name. On paper, I was probably the whitest white man that you could think about.
The whitest black man.
You know, Zachary A. Robinson. And it was a long time before I started putting that A in there because I met some other Zachary Robinsons and I had to differentiate myself from everybody else. But on paper, he's the man. So right out of college, I applied for, and this has nothing to do with fitness, guys. Mm-hmm. So I applied for a job at Wells Fargo.
Okay.
This is when you should look in the paper for ads for jobs.
Oh man.
They had an ad in the job in the paper.
Throw you the newspaper and look for a job.
They had an ad in the newspaper.
Circled all the jobs you think you qualify for.
College graduates wanted no experience needed. I'm like, okay, this is perfect. I'm at the bank. I majored in business. This is it. Fill out the application. Zachary Robinson, let me give you an interview, come back, call you back. Oh, we didn't mean to call you back. But I go ahead and interview you since I said, well, you already told me you're not going to hire me. So why would I even sit here and finish the interview? Had you looked at the resume, you would have saw that I was attended the HBCU. At that time, we didn't have all the diversity that we have at HBCU now. You had a few foreign exchange students, but we didn't have any white kids at the HBCU. Now you go to them, the whole baseball team, whole softball team, everybody white.
That's the story for another day.
That is. Tune in next week. But anyway, so not your
spritzer kicking
Wait a minute.
Which is 18 calories, by the way. Thank you. Thank you, Betty.
but that was just one of those things. And what I didn't learn about banking at the time, that for those that are applying for banking positions, your credit has to be a certain level because they're trusting you with their money or any other assets through the bank.
Right.
So they're saying if your credit is not up to par, we can't hire you as an employee because you may steal from us.
Right.
Of course, college people mess their credit up all the time because back in the late 1900s.
So you saying you didn't get the job because of your credit?
I don't think I got the job because I was black. Once he actually saw me.
Yeah.
Because I can talk, on the phone, I can sound as white as the whitest white man.
I went to a conference one time when I first started, back the first 5 years, went to a conference in the Delta. I never forget. I walked through the door and everybody in front of me looked a certain way. When that man was saying, "Hey, come in, we got to," he said, I said, "Hey, how you doing?" Okay, man. I'm talking about I ate steaks, I ate potatoes. Give me another drink.
Yeah.
We finna kick it. I'm eating all your food. I'm in the kitchen with Miss Annie. I'm talking about I was up in there. I did not care. That's what happened when you come from Oxford. You be like, "Oh yeah."
Uh-oh. So listen, guys. It's a little after 8.
Oh God.
Oh.
I think we have talked about quite a bit, but remember, if you want to ask anything else, ask Astria.
I love it.
On IG, ask_Astria. Is it the same thing on Facebook?
Facebook is just Astria Goolsby.
Okay, Facebook is her real name, Astria Goolsby. Goolsby.
Thank you for putting the L in there.
Yes.
You're right,
So
Goolsby.
be sure to reach out to her.
Yeah.
Because she gonna get us right. You see all this right here, by the time y'all see me steal all my stealing folk, by the time y'all see me in February.
February. I can handle
I'm gonna be
February.
fine, But guess what? She gonna be with me.
I was like, for who?
She gonna be with me. For myself. It ain't about I ain't studying them. It's for me. But anyway, we're gonna wrap this thing on up. So again, we're gonna keep on puffing, but make sure you do some cardio so you can puff.
There you go. I like that.
Tune in next week. Do the puffer. We'll holler at you.
Maybe she got some friends. What's her name?